Good morning, everyone. We are on day 7 of Release What's Weighing You Down. And Carrie, you came up with this one. In fact, I should tag you on this right now so that I don't forget to do that. So sorry you're going to see me in there. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So I like to tag when you put it so that you can find it more easily. So you put the need to feel full, to avoid feeling empty. Oh my God. I so relate to this because when I was deep in the throes of my eating disorder, hey, Carrie, when I was deep in the throes of my eating disorder, I would get really irritable and really anxious. It's funny. I'm actually putting this together right now as I do this video. My anxiety would elevate when I'd start to get too hungry. Now it's crazy. Like now, sometimes I get to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, holy crap! I need to eat something. So it's very different. But what I realized, like I said, as I'm doing this video right this moment, thank you, Carrie, is when I would start to get too hungry, in Overeaters Anonymous, it's HALT. Don't get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired. Because if you get to any of those, it's going to create more anxiety for you, more of a challenge, and more likeliness to eat. Sorry, I know the shading's weird, but the sun's coming up over this rooftop. So that's what I noticed is when I would feel the empty, physically, the empty feeling in my stomach, I was like, my anxiety would kick in. And that's what I realized. I'll say this right now. I found other ways to avoid it once I stopped my eating disorder, being overly busy, other things. But that's what I was avoiding, was the anxiety that I really felt in my life. So this is such a great one, Carrie. Thank you as always. You bring really amazing topics to this as well. I mean, everybody does, but the day I'm doing each person's, I'm like, this is such a fabulous topic. But so I just wanted to share my own insights with that and the own light bulb that went off in my own head. So many of you know, and some of you don't, back in November of 2017, a string of things happened, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, whoa, I have anxiety. And what I realized is I was using busyness to avoid it. And when I think back to when I was struggling with my eating disorder, hey, Melinda, that empty feeling, physically empty feeling, I would start to get so anxious. I would get cranky, and I would be like, oh my God, I've got to eat right now. And it was really interesting. And like I said, I just put it together today. That's what I was trying to avoid, is anxiety. One of many things I was trying to avoid. The biggest thing, which I've said on these videos before, is rage was the first emotion that came up in me when I stopped practicing my eating disorder. I think I might move because that shading is kind of odd. Yeah, I'll come over here and sit next on the dog's bed next to, I'm staying up in Fort Collins, Colorado. Yeah, this is better. That was just like weird shadowing. Ditto, exactly, right, Melinda? So, okay, I'm gonna hold this, so sorry it's gonna bobble a little, and I'm just gonna start at the eyebrow. I wanna release the need and allow myself to feel empty. What? Are you insane? But what if feeling the emotion is the key? What if it's true? I'm not going to die from feeling empty. I'm not going to die from feeling lonely. And I'm not going to die from feeling anxiety. I I just feel like I will. Because when I feel these feelings, it taps into this very young part of me. This little child that was terrified that she would die from being alone. Because how would she survive if she felt empty? It was life or death to her. If she was anxious, it was life or death to her. Because how was she going to survive? That was her greatest fear. So this very young part of me learned to squelch these feelings in the only way she knew how. The only thing she could kind of have control over. She could sneak food. She could hide it. She could come back to it again and again. And it worked. It squelched the feelings. It kept this young part of me from feeling the emptiness that felt like life or death. It kept this young part of me from feeling the loneliness that felt like life or death. So I have this little girl in me who is dying to be heard, starving to feel heard. And she speaks up even more when things get really quiet for me. But that quietness is scary. That emptiness feels like it will never end. That loneliness feels like it will never end. She's so terrified. She's going to be left all alone. Because she was. And she was terrified she couldn't survive. So what if it's possible that right now, I don't have to do anything about this other than entertain the idea that maybe, kinda, sorta, someday, I won't be so terrified to sit in emptiness, to sit in loneliness, to sit in anxiety. I won't feel like it's life or death. And I don't have to do that yet because it's probably too soon. But here's the thing. I'm the one now that gets to determine when I'm ready and what I'm going to feel and for how long I'll feel it. And I'll get there when I choose. Because now The choice is mine. And that makes all the difference. And then take a breath. I have a dog here at the place I'm staying. Go on in, buddy. So it's funny, the loneliness and emptiness thing, I was like, whoa, that's kind of getting to me a bit. I wanted to share this with you. So I had this incident happen yesterday with a family member, and it totally triggered this feeling really unsafe in me. And how do I say it? It was one of those things. I tapped and tapped, and then I was like, I'm just gonna feel this. I'm just gonna let this be what it is and feel it. And so I noticed when I got done, it's been, really busy up here in Fort Collins. Oh, you love Fort Collins? Yeah. I felt it now, empty like a desert. Oh my gosh, Carrie, I felt it too. It's really interesting. I really felt that when I was tapping, that the emptiness and the loneliness. I felt the well of emotion start to come up. So you're not alone, and I'm glad we're all in this together. So I noticed it really triggered this not safe feeling in me, and that's a biggie for me. So what I noticed, and this is what's always helpful, and I think I'm going to sit here now because that chair is wet and my butt is getting soaked. This is how these roll. They're very impromptu. I got a soaked butt. So, but what I did last night when I got home and I got quiet is I just lied in bed and felt it. I didn't try to change it. I didn't try to get away from it. I thought, I'm going to experiment with this and just lie here and feel this and feel the discomfort of this. And I did. And I'd tell you, I woke up at various times during the night and I really felt it. And it was uncomfortable. But I woke up this morning and I'm okay. And I'm still here. And I feel better. And I think that's huge to realize that when we know and we have this certainty that we're not going to die from a feeling, we can feel it and just let it be what it is, and experience it. So I would recommend that don't do it till you're ready, because it can feel so intensely overwhelming. I know when I was in the midst of really uncovering my own depth of anxiety, there were definitely times where I was like, I would rather be dead than feel this. And, that was thoughts in my head, and I just was, kept tapping and knew like this too shall pass, but acknowledging the realness of that. So I would highly recommend you just give that a whirl, see how it feels. So, Carrie, Melinda, thanks for being here live with me. I noticed my connection's kind of going in and out a little bit. I'm on this back patio, and back to getting my daughter settled in at college in Fort Collins, and then we'll see you back on here tomorrow. And again, thanks for all the great suggestions. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.